ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host narrator, and today we have a story called The Groom of Whitmore Mansion. Also, sorry for not posting in a while. I got really busy throughout the past couple of days. But I hope you enjoy the story. Please like and subscribe and comment down below how you think. Without further ado, let's hop right into this tale. I would dream about getting married to the person I love the most. But I thought I would get my own happily ever after one day. Or was I deceived? On my special day, my groom left me at the altar and didn't show up for the past hour. The guests broke out in questioning what was going on, but it broke my heart into pieces. I couldn't handle it and let out my tears at the altar without my love being here. It all crumbled. Soon after everyone left, I walked away, throwing my ring that he proposed, that was once on my finger, to the ground. I left the church in my own gown, flowers still in hand. I wandered around. I didn't even pay attention to where I was going. I still couldn't control my emotions and sobbed all the way to who knows where. While walking, I came across a park, sitting down on the bench, trying to control my tears. Out of nowhere, my best friend, Jasper, who was there for me when we were kids, called me. I answered the phone. Jasper had came to my place, but found out all the locks had changed. My key won't work. Plus, all of my stuff and clothes were on the side of the road. I'm pretty sure that my ex changed everything and also threw all my stuff out. Jasper assured me that he will collect all my stuff and it will be at his place. I thanked him for what he did. I later told him that I would need some time alone to collect myself. But he asked where I was. To be honest, I didn't know where I was either. I told him I didn't know where I was, but it was getting dark. I hung up the phone and started walking down a path. As I was following it, up the road ahead lies a mansion. Getting a closer look at it, it looked like someone hadn't been living in it for the past few years or so, given the state of the front lawn. With how getting dark it is outside, I opened the gate and went inside of the mansion. Once I stepped inside of the mansion, I closed the door and fell to my feet. Sitting in the center of the entranceway, I was picking on my flowers, causing the petals to come off. I was saying my vows, but all of a sudden, the temperature dropped. A cold breeze filled the room, rushing against me. I looked at the painting in the center of the room. Then a figure appeared. The flower petals were once scattered across the room, were now formed as one flower. The figure was of a man that looked around my age. He was wearing a vintage suit with a primrose on the upper pocket of it. He had sort of messy hairstyle with black hair and a kind face of two beautiful green eyes staring right back at me. I noticed that the man was holding my flower in hand, looking back at me with a sad look.
Oh, to see such beauty has fallen in the hands of sadness. To the flesh in this mere mansion, who has bestowed upon me? Who are you, and what is your purpose here?
Looking at the man from the floor, I replied to his question. My name is Violet. I was someone's betrothed. I was left at the altar today. I couldn't handle the pressure of the mockery that was left. So I left and I came across this mansion. The man in front of me said his name was Piero Whitmore, the owner of the mansion I was in. Still sitting on the floor, Piero offered his hand along with a flower too, asking if I wanted to forget the person who broke my heart. I reached out taking his hand, saying yes, that I want to forget that person, but knowing it would be very hard to do it in the process. Piero smiled at me with those kind eyes, but right then, everything went black. I can't hear anything, nor open my eyes. I was too drained of energy. For some time, I woken up. I was in some sort of bedroom. It looked pretty decent and clean. Looking around the room, it looked like it hadn't been touched. I mean, this place was abandoned. I'm guessing that maybe some of the rooms were locked, knowing that some people can't get in without the keys. Checking my phone for the time, it was 7 p.m. Doing the math, I was out for 2 hours. Right at that moment, I could hear Jasper calling. When I answered the phone, he was screaming, demanding where I was at. I told Jasper what happened and asking if I was in the Whitmore mansion. I said yes to his question. The Whitmores was a super rich family, but had a tragic ending. Piero had 4 sisters. Each sister died in a really bad way. But Piero had a different story when it came to his family. He was an outcast of the family. He was his mother's lover's child. The mother had cheated on the father while he was away and gave birth to Piero. Growing up, Piero was engaged at a very young age, at the age of 18, to his fiancée Eleanor. But when things went quiet on Jasper's end, I asked how he died. Jasper sighed and said that it was way more sadder than his family's death. Piero was killed by Eleanor and was stabbed in the heart. He had died with a broken heart the night before his wedding. Jasper also said that Eleanor was captured by the police the next day after finding the body in his room and was imprisoned for life. Right at that moment, a knock appeared at the door. I quickly hanged up the phone and hid it in one of the pockets of my dress. I opened it to find someone else. There was an old man in his 70s. He claimed that Piero wanted to see me when I woke up. The man walked me out of the room and told me his name was Tony, the family butler. Tony thanked me for being here and not making his lord sad no longer. I wanted to ask a question of why he was so excited and also speedy walking so fast. But I couldn't get him to slow down. But right then, Tony stopped and opened the door to a study. In the armchair, Piero was sitting there reading. Once he saw me enter the room, Tony shut the door behind me, leaving Piero and I alone. Piero was holding my hands into his. I could feel his cold touch.
Oh, my dear Violet, I couldn't wait for what is happening tonight, and as we must quickly make preparations as soon as possible. I was trying to not disturb you, but I'm glad that you woken up so that we can start preparing.
I am so confused, Piero. What are we preparing for exactly?
It is our wedding, my dear. That is happening tonight.
Our wedding? Piero's eyes locked onto mine. I was still shocked to hear what he was saying. Piero gave me a smile and told me he won't leave me like what happened today. Hearing him say that gave me some sort of relief. I thanked Piero for assuring me that. He took my hand and we were off to another room in the mansion. While walking, Piero wanted me to pick flowers for the tables for the wedding. But hearing him say that, I barely know him and we just met. I don't know if we're rushing too quickly or things are going by way too fast. He also told me I could pick whatever flowers I wanted for the tables and my bouquet. Looking back at my own wedding, I didn't have a choice. I didn't pick my own flowers, my dress, plus the cake. My ex's family and him would pick what they wanted. And I never got a say into this. But I was the one getting married, not them. Even if I tried to bring it up to my ex, he would tell me to stop picking what I want and let his family have their pick in the wedding too. But with Piero, he would let me pick my own flowers. For a while, we came to the greenhouse where the flowers were at. Once I was inside, the place looked gorgeous with all types of flowers blooming. Piero showed me the flowers that I was to pick. I asked if it was okay for me to pick. He looked shocked to my words and gave me a reassuring smile and gestured me to pick. Looking at them, I picked a red rose, magnolia, and lilies. Piero and I put the flowers in a mini vase and decorated them with a beautiful ribbon. They were beautiful. Next for the flowers was my wedding bouquet. The flowers I picked were bluebells. I loved the shade of blue. Plus, they were my favorite flowers. Piero took the bluebells from my hand and wrapped them in a pretty blue ribbon. But the flowers that we picked, they were perfect. Right at that moment, we locked our eyes into each other's gaze, like the moment stopped for a moment. Piero took my hands and into his. I sort of feel happy, but I don't know why my heart is beating so fast. But right then, Tony came, causing us to step away from each other. Getting all flustered, Piero told Tony to take these to the ballroom. For my bouquet, it was sent to my room. After the flower arrangements, Piero had left to go find something. I was in the parlor room, alone with some tea and cookies. Right then, my phone buzzed again at that moment. Seeing the number, it was Jasper. I answered it to hear him scolding me and demanding what had happened to cause me to hang up on him. Over the phone, I told Jasper what had happened a few minutes ago. Plus the part I told Jasper I got to pick my own flowers. Jasper asked how I felt about Piero. To be honest, I have mixed feelings. To me, I felt happy, but I feel like I was glad. But when it comes to the wedding of Piero and I, that's what my heart is mixed about. I couldn't tell either I was unsure or I wanted this. Jasper asked about what wedding. I told him that Piero and I are getting married. Jasper was too stunned to speak. Even though we just met, I generally feel happy about it. I could hear Piero at the door. I told Jasper I had to go, hanging up on him. But he was trying to say something, but it was cut off. Piero came back with a book in his hand. As he sat down right next to me, he showed me cake recipes.
These cake recipes are from my grandpa. This entire book belonged to him when he was alive. He was very famous for his pastries. He was known throughout the entire town. People called him the bakery master. People will line up just to get a taste of the sweets that he made. He made a fortune off of it, causing him and his family to get out of poverty, start running a business, and rising up to aristocracy.
Looking through each page was filled with sweets and different types of flavors I have never heard before. Piero had asked for my favorite cake flavor. To me, I loved chocolate cake. I asked if there was a chocolate cake recipe in his grandpa's book. Piero looked over the pages and found a chocolate layer cake. I asked Piero what his flavor of cake was. He liked chocolate too. It was one of his favorite cakes when he was alive, and he still likes it. But the cake, I wasn't so sure if Piero can eat it or drink. Can he? Who knows? Piero, how are we going to fix up a cake? Do we have the ingredients to make it?
I had Tony to go shopping for food. Plus, we should have all the ingredients, too. What was your previous wedding cake like, dear? If it's okay for me to ask.
Hearing Piero's question, well, my previous wedding cake was picked by my ex. I loved chocolate cake, but he didn't like it at all. So he forbid it in the apartment that we stayed in. And only him he could pick since he was the man in charge. But I didn't like the cake that he picked. It was mint flavor. And he knew I was deadly allergic to mint. And yet he picked it, despite me telling him that he couldn't eat it. And yet he said that I should suck it up and just eat it since it was our wedding cake. Can you believe him? What he just said? I'm pretty sure he was trying to kill me or something. Piero had asked what I couldn't eat, and hearing him say that, I felt really glad that he did. I said smashed potatoes, mint, and candy. I had a very sensitive taste buds, and it was really hard for me to try those things, especially the mint. I didn't like the smell, and I was very allergic to it, so I couldn't eat it. Piero told me that we won't have those things at the wedding, and how he would get rid of all of those things to make sure that I was safe. And how we would make the cake by scratch. I agreed to Piero's idea. Plus, I always wanted to make my cake by scratch. But when the idea came to my ex, he didn't want that. It was a tradition in my family to make our family cake and wedding cakes by scratch. But right now, I don't have that much freedom. Being with my ex, he was so controlling and never listened to my feelings. Plus, Now that I realized it, why did I still stayed with him? I guess I was so lovesick by him that I couldn't let go and see his true colors. I guess I was just paperweight to him. But with Piero, I feel happy and heard. He offered his hand, and I took it. As we were off to the kitchen, while walking, I asked Piero if he had someone before me. Right then, he stopped and looked sad. And there was a little bit of fear in his eyes.
I did love someone at some point, but she was after money. She killed me, knowing that she couldn't have my fortune, even after marrying into my distinguished family. I was so blinded that I didn't even see her true colors before she had killed me. And I should have been more careful when I was alive with Eleanor. And now I got to meet you, my dear. And that's one thing that I don't regret.
Piero had turned see-through, looking even more sad. I hugged him and assured him that she won't hurt you again, because I'm here and I still tend to wed you. I don't want the money nor the fame. All I ever wanted was love from my lover, is what I'm asking for. Piero's face was shocked to hear my words. He hugged me back and thanked me for choosing love instead of money. We've been in that hug, in that embrace for a while. But after some time, we continued our walk to the kitchen. Once we'd entered the kitchen, we were looking over the recipe. Piero and I gathered all of the ingredients and equipment that we need. During the time, we had a lot of fun baking the cake. While making it, my dress got dirty, covered in flour and cocoa powder. But it was worth it. After 2 hours of the cake, it looked great with white frosting and wedding toppers. With some leftover frosting, we'd taken a bite. It tastes super good, rich, and creamy. Piero and I were in a mess right then. Tony had came back again and took the cake to the ballroom.
Next is our wedding clothes. I still have my suit, that is from my previous wedding. It's still in perfect condition, but it needs a little stitching. But, Violet, do you want to change your wedding dress to something that you want to wear besides something like that?
Looking at my dress that I'm wearing right now, it was so hideous. I didn't even want to wear this dress, to be honest. Yes, please. Plus, I can't get married looking like this. Being all covered in flour and looking like a hot mess. True. I'll summon the tailor to come and make her your dress. In the meantime, why don't you go get freshened up a little bit so that you can have a fresh start of this dress? Thank you, dear. I was surprised of what I just said to Piero. His face was as red as a tomato. He looked happy when I called him dear. He called me darling. Piero is so sweet and kind to me. Right then, my phone rang. Once again, I pulled out my phone. Piero asked what I was holding. I explained to Piero that this was a phone. What that can communicate with people far away. And also can do other things.
Oh, if that's the case, then who is calling you, darling?
Looking at the screen, it was Jasper. This is my best friend Jasper who's calling.
Your friend is calling you? Did you meet this friend today?
I known Jasper when we were kids. He's like a brother to me. You don't have to worry about him competing. Plus, I see him as a big brother, not as a lover.
Oh, good. I don't need to worry now. And has he heard about the wedding? Our wedding?
Yes, dear. He has heard about our wedding. And would it be okay if he can come to the wedding that's happening tonight?
Why, yes. A wedding without guests can't possibly be acceptable. I'll go find Tony so he can summon the tailor and get the word out of the wedding. Why don't you go wash up? In the meantime, I'll meet up with you later.
Sounds good. I'll do that, dear. As Piero left to go find Tony, I answered the phone. Jasper was screaming my name on the other side of the line and speaking so many questions at the same time. I managed to calm down Jasper, but he sounded worried over the phone. I told Jasper nothing bad happened, and we were making our wedding cake. The part that shocked me the most is that he was coming to get me. I didn't want to leave Piero. I told him I want to stay, but he didn't listen to me and hang up on me. I walked out of the room in tears. I didn't want to leave. I feel happy being here with him. I cried into my pillow and let all of my emotions out. For some time, I managed to start the shower and got rid of this hideous dress that was like a prison. The hot water felt so good on my skin. This is what I needed after a long day. After I got washed up, I found some clothes on the bed. They were comfy and loose, and they fit me just right. Right as I finished getting ready, I heard a knock at the door. On the other side of the door, I could hear Piero's voice coming from outside.
Darling, may I come in, please? I have something to tell you.
I opened the door, and I let Piero come inside my room.
Violet, darling, the tailor is here, along with some fabric for your gown. Just to let you know, it's a huge amount. So, if you have trouble picking any fabric, please let me know or the tailor.
Okay, Piero. We can go see the tailor now. I just finished getting ready. I'd taken his hand, and we were off once again to the parlor where the tailor was at. Right as we entered the parlor, there was a stack of white fabric piled up. While we were talking to the dressmaker, he pulled up different dress designs from 3 sheets of paper. Looking at the notes, I saw a beautiful mermaid dress. It was off the shoulder, and it had a little long tail. Piero noticed my eyes sparkling at the dress, asking me if this is the dress that I want. I asked if it would be okay for me to wear something like this. Piero told me that I could pick whatever dress I wanted. And then my ex back then would give me a hideous dress that I wore a few moments ago. It looked like a balloon instead of an actual dress. The dressmaker got to work. With a wave of his hand, the fabric, needles, and thread came towards me. While Piero was getting his suit all fixed, I felt like Cinderella when the fairy godmother transformed her dress. Being so lost in the moment, It felt like I was a princess in my own story. For the past hour, the dress was finished. When I looked in the mirror, I couldn't believe how beautiful I looked in it. Piero had came behind me, seeing myself in the mirror. I looked so perfect. When I turned to see Piero, he looked stunning in his suit. The two of us, hand in hand, looked at each other. I was at a loss for words when I looked at Piero. I couldn't help but blush. Piero was lost in my eyes, taking my hand and kissing it softly. In that moment, Tony came in with the maids and children. Tony had come to tell us that the guests are here. Piero excused himself to go and greet the guests, leaving me time to finish getting ready. In my room, the maids were doing my makeup and getting my veil ready. Looking in the mirror, I looked so pretty with the light makeup. Once it was done, I had taken the extra flowers and they pulled off the petals, placing them in tiny baskets for the children. Right in that moment, the door flew open, bringing in Jasper. When Jasper saw me in a different dress and looked way more different than before, Jasper tried to take my hand, but I backed off. He questioned why I backed off and told me how worried he was for the past 8 hours of me not answering the phone and hanging up on him multiple times. I let everyone out of the room for some time. I sat Jasper down, telling him how happy I was with Piero here, and how I never felt so alive and loved by someone, by their heart's content. But Jasper, I want to stay here with Piero. Jasper tried to convince me, but I chose to stay here. Jasper asked if I wanted this. I said yes. This is what I wanted. I smiled and assured him that I'll be fine. I took a deep breath and asked Jasper if he can be my man of honor. Once again, Jasper agreed, letting everyone back to finish the touch-ups. With my veil in my hair, holding my flowers, I was ready. The maids guided me and the others to the ballroom. I never felt so happy in my life. Right then, the music started to play. The doors opened, seeing all the seats are full of guests. At the end was my groom, my Piero. The children tossed the petals to the ground, Jasper by my side, walking me down the aisle. At the altar, I couldn't take my eyes off my groom. The priest called us to our vows. As Piero was saying his vows, I couldn't help but smile when he said I do. When I said my vows, I said them with love and happiness. At long last, I sealed my vows with I do. Right in that very moment, the priest announced us as husband and wife. Piero slid a ring onto my finger and pulling his ring onto his finger. We came closer together, sharing a kiss. The crowd arose in cheers as we walked out as husband and wife. The after party was fun. We danced all night together and cut the cake and fed each other with joy. The night had ended, and it was now day. I fell in love with a ghost, and I married a ghost. Later on, the past few days, I moved into the mansion. Piero and I started repairing our home. I was the most happiest woman in the world. This is my happy ending that I wanted and dreamed of for so long. And I hope you all will too. And this is the end of our story. Have a good day, everyone.